How was that for a quick drink? I am back. Ooh, imperfect split. Get that mining. Okay, so at the top of the map we have ISL-Southpark spawning in the teal colours, and at the bottom of the map, fixed colours, fixed colours. Look at that, within 20 seconds that was. I hope everybody saw that. That was impressive stuff. Let me remind myself, ISL-Deska spawning at the bottom as the beautiful purple Zerg. What a becoming colour that is. So we're going to see another set of fantastic ZVZ. It is currently 1-1 in this ISL round of 16 match of Southpark versus Deska. We've seen some tense stuff, very Zergling orientated so far. Both games actually pretty one-sided after a certain point. They're very close up to a limit, but then they turned around and somebody got owned, absolutely owned. So this is of course Destination. It is a 2-player map, so there is literally no chance whatsoever that you're going to scout the wrong place first. You just have to go bam down, although if you're very clever you have to go slightly diagonally, but it doesn't really matter. Let's see who's doing that. Yeah, the Overlord wiggling slightly to the left there and then heading on back to the right. I'm not quite sure what he's doing there, but it doesn't matter because both of them are going to cross over paths right here in the middle, right over Mr. Panda Bear guy who is snorting away in the icy cold. And right away we see a very early spawning pool, a 9 pool from Mr. Southpark, and we see an identical build going from Deska. So this time we're going to see no advantages going down in the early game for Zergling count, that kind of thing. No advantages for gas. We're just going to see straight up plain play. I do see a few extra drones being hatched by Deska down at the bottom. Southpark actually not choosing to. He's choosing to go straight for the Zergling, so he's going to actually try and grab the aggression early on in this game. I think after last game he sensed a weakness and he really wants to capitalise on his advantage mentally. So he's just going to morph these right in, and he's got speed going already. Deska's speed is a bit slower to come up, so he's going to have to watch out for this. These Zerglings are already out from Southpark and working their way across the map. Deska should be fine, perfectly able to defend as long as he gets his Zerglings up at the top of this ramp. Southpark, are you scared of cheese, or is he hiding his Zergling count? Ooh, this could be some sneaky stuff. Either he was very terrified of some sort of peculiar, bizarre, weirdo proxy hatch rubbish, or he was hiding his Zergling count from his opponent, but it's not going to matter because the Overlord has now seen everything anyway, and Deska is going to be fully clued up as to what's going on. These Zerglings running back to the base as soon as possible, and just in time so they didn't get caught out by Mr. Southpark's. His Zergling speed isn't quite done yet, so he's not going to be able to catch these, and they're going to be able to make it safely back. I'm still seeing no Zergling speed for Deska, so this is a very clear statement. He's not going for the Zergling aggression. This very early lair, matched by Southpark, and we see him poking up the ramp, and this is a very poor engagement for Southpark. He has not got the positioning on the ramp, but he does manage to get up anyway. Deska having to retreat into his base, but he's going all the way back to this sunken, and he should be absolutely safe when he gets into the cover of that. Southpark forced to retreat, and his early Zergling advantage is not going to mean so much now. Both layers hatching at almost the same time. Southpark is slightly behind due to his extra Zergling count, and let me have a look at the economies. I think we're seeing roughly equal economy, possibly with Deska slightly ahead. That's okay, it's not a huge difference. Southpark just moseying around trying to do some damage. Is he going to go for the Spire? He might be able to take the Spire out if he gets a good enough surround on it. And it's cancelled. Deska actually chooses to cancel it. He feared for the loss of tech and calls it off. He's going to have to lay that back down instantly, and he lays it back down in a much safer place. But he actually loses a good amount of timing there. He loses the advantage he had on the earlier lair. So a few Zerglings going down there, and Southpark is forced to retreat. He heads all the way back to his base to regroup and have a good rethink about this game. Overlord running away nice and early there. He doesn't want to make the mistake of having that caught out by the first few mutas. So it's just sprinting back as fast as it can. Not very impressively, I must say. Zerglings collecting at the top of the ramp. Maybe slightly overdoing it, especially considering that he has this sunken colony. Might be better served making extra drone or two with those, but that's okay. He wants to get the impetus back in this game, and he's actually heading out. These are not defensive Zerglings. These are scary offensive Zerglings. They now have the speed. They can match Southpark, and Southpark is going to have to run all the way back to his base so he can hold his ramp. He should be able to hold this. He's got a decent Zergling count as long as he can get a good position very fast at the top of his ramp. Deska moving in. He almost decides to go straight up the ramp, but he doesn't, and that could be his opportunity gone. Southpark trying to lure him in, but he does manage to get a good position on Southpark at the top of the ramp. However, this is going to be just about hell. Deska does manage to get through, and there is no sunken colony for Southpark at the top of this ramp. Some very damaged Zerglings, and the drones are coming out to fight. Takes one drone loss, possibly two. No, just some more Zerglings going down for Deska. He would want to keep those alive, keep the pressure going, and now he's forced to retreat as the Mutas pop out, and we're seeing Scourge first. Fancy that. All Scourge first. I'm going to try and take out these Mutas nice and fast, possibly stopping off to get this overload on the way, but I wouldn't think he'd prioritise that. Can he take out this drone? That could be crucial. That's very important. With such a low drone count in this game, he decides to ignore it for now, and that's just going to head straight back out. We see a pause there. Not quite sure what happened there. See a pause, and these Zerglings are going to dart right back in and try and take out some drones. They get one drone kill, and every single drone kill counts right here. Will they get another one? I think they won't. The Mutas do manage to do their job. I'm not quite sure where those Scourge ended up. Oh, they ended up in the Mutalisk. Deary me. That's pretty bad news for Mr. Southpark here. He's going to have some serious trouble getting these back into the action. There's already an expansion up for Deska. He's flying these Scourge around, showing his amazing control and his attention to detail. But Southpark is now just pushing straight out with his Mutalisk. He's going to get in there early and try and do some damage before this expansion really kicks in and starts to hit home and do its real damage. More Mutalisks coming up. Southpark just goes straight in there. He's going to try and get some drone kills, but he might get hit by the Scourge here, doing a bit of the micro, and the Scourge both hit. That is an absolutely brutal Scourge hit, and actually now Southpark is hugely outgunned. The Scourge are in here. Deska getting some free hits on there. Another Mutalisk goes down for Southpark, and I didn't actually see whether he managed to get that, and that one surely hit. His Mutalisks are now in a huge amount of trouble, being torn to pieces by Deskas, and another flight of Scourge come in, and these Mutalisks are all but dead. One on full health running home, and that is the GG from Southpark. Much closer game this time. A lot more of the same Zergling messing around, but that's fun. We kind of like to see Zergs dancing around at the top of the map.